it's Claire. Welcome to my studio. It's an early morning weekend and most of the family is out and about elsewhere, so I've got a little bit of time and hopefully some peace and quiet to be able to tell you some more. Look who's here. Finally, hooray! Miss Moxie has arrived from America. It's the newest machine in the Handy Quilter range, and it's really a very, very awesome machine if you are just beginning with your free motion quilting and want to do long arm quilting, but you're a little bit nervous of that price tag of some of the long arms. This machine comes in at a really fantastic price, and it has everything that you can possibly need to get you started on your long arm journey. Handy Quilter has worked really hard and thought very cleverly about what features to adapt to bring the price down significantly. My biggest concern in the beginning was that the quality was also going to come down, but I can honestly, truly say the quality of this machine is Handy Quilter quality through and through. I'm really impressed with it. It stitches beautifully, and while it is a lot simpler than some of the other machines, it is going to be a fantastic machine to get you going quilting. If you want to just quilt a few of your own quilts every month or every now and again, then you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of rands. You can get yourself a little Moxie here. She's going to look after you, and everything that you need basically is in the box. I'm going to take you through some of the different features of the machine and show you what is different to some of our other models, how it's been adapted, but how the quality is still really, really awesome. So let's have a look. So firstly, the Moxie comes on a different kind of frame. It is a lighter weight of frame, but I must say it's still pretty sturdy. You'll notice that the poles are narrower. The diameter is not as wide, but they are still pretty sturdy. On the loft frame here, it comes in an 8-foot length as standard. You can buy an additional section, a 2-foot section, to make it into a 10-foot frame. But the poles joined together, they're nice and sturdy. You don't want to put a lot of weight on them and lean on them, but basically they work really nicely. With the loft frame, you have the option of clear view mode, which I have at the moment, or when you set it up, you can also set it up in standard view mode. So the same as the Studio 2 and the Gallery 2 frames have 2 different loading options. You can set that up. It isn't quite as simple to do as, or to change between them as it is with the bigger frames, but it is there, the option is there, so you have all these options. Looking from this side of the poles, you can see we still have a nice ratchet mechanism. Again, it's simpler than on the other frames, but this allows you to tension your leader cloths between the bars. Exactly the same principle as with the other frames, just a slightly simpler mechanism. The space is kind of tight in the studio now that I got an extra machine, so it's a bit difficult to get the camera angles. This is from the back, obviously showing the back of the frame. And one of the great things with the Moxie is you don't have to take everything. So if you are never going to do pantographs, then you don't need to buy the rear handlebars or this tabletop. But if you do want to do pantographs, and they're a really awesome option for beginner quilters, because you have the pattern on paper and you use the laser light here that shines onto the table to then guide you and to show you where you need to quilt. You have to move the machine, but the pattern is there set out for you. So the rear handlebars and the laser light come as part what's called the quilt from the back kit. And then you just add these tabletop sections as well, so that you have a surface to put your paper pantograph out onto. If you're never going to do pantographs, then you don't need to buy either of the tabletop or the quilt from the back kit, and you can save yourself a bit of money. If I come to the front of the machine, I just want to show you the display. This is probably one of the places where the differences are biggest in terms of the machine, because it isn't a touchscreen display, and there is only one. There is just the one at the front. It's about the size of a smartwatch, so it's not very big, but it has everything on it that you can possibly need. And once you get to understand it, it's extremely simple to move through the different functions. So you use your handlebars, and the buttons on the handlebars to get into the different functions. So I have options here. This is my stitch regulation, whether I want it in precision would be the top one, precision, cruise, or manual. So once I'm happy with the selection, I can just go back to my home screen. You'll see I have my stitches per inch, the top number, at 12, and that one's very easy to change. I just use the handlebars. There's a plus and a minus button on the handlebars, so if I want more stitches per inch, I press the plus. If I want less, I press the minus. The icon on the far right hand side with the needle and the two arrows just shows where my needle is going to stop. At this point it is going to stop with the needle down, so the blue arrow indicates which way, and that is really awesome because then when I stop I know my machine's not going to drift, or I'm not going to end up with a big long stitch when I start off again. So the screen is very easy to move your way around, and the features are simple and intuitive, but you have everything that you possibly need. I've been very impressed with the quality of the stitching. You would think with a lower price machine, a more budget price machine, that you would compromise on your quality of stitching. I can confidently say that is not the case, and I'm also impressed with the tension. Tension is often an issue with cheaper machines, as well as thread breakage. I've stitched quite a bit with this machine in the last few weeks to test it out, and I haven't had a single thread break, and I've found the tension to be very easy to work with. So as a beginner, you've got everything that you could possibly want. So I told you the Moxie's got everything that you need for a start-out quilter. If you want to quilt your own quilts at home, not necessarily do big volumes for business purposes, then this is really an awesome machine. The one thing that I didn't tell you about is that, like all other machines, you can also buy a ruler base. So it attaches onto your machine and gives you that sturdy surface to be able to rest your rulers on, to be able to quilt more safely with rulers. So the great news is, if you order a Moxie between now and the middle of April, then you can get a free ruler base with your order. And I'll also throw in a Surefoot, which is the ruler foot, the really awesome deep ruler foot that makes quilting with rulers so much easier. Moxie, she's got that easy change system for all the feet, so whatever handy quilter feet we have, be it the echo feet, the square foot, the couching feet, they all fit onto this machine. So there's really very little that it can't do. If you need more details about the machine, get in touch with me or with your local agent. We'll be happy to help you out and give you all the details. Hope to hear from you soon.